kelibsizlar hurmatlilar. Bugun sizlar bilan vocabulary story haqida gaplashamiz. Ko'pchiliklar bilasizlar vocabulary story nimaligini. Endi birinchi marta kirayotganlarga tushuntiraman. Ingliz tilini men ham o'rganganimda bir paytlar grammatikadan boshlaganman. Happy English degan kitobni o'qiganman. Keyin grammatika kitoblar o'qiganman. O'shanda grammatika kitoblar o'qir ekanman. Har kuni bitta unitni o'qirdim, qoidalarni o'qitardi, ba'zi mashqlar qilardimda. O'zidan o'zi hamma mashqlar tushunmasdim. Ikkita lug'atlarni tushunmasdim. Qarasam bitta mashq qilamasam ichidan 5-6 ta lug'at chiqadi. Bitta mashq qilaman, yana 5-6 ta lug'at chiqadi. Qarasam har kuni 20 ta 30 tadan lug'atlar yig'ilyapti. Tabiiyki, endi bu lug'atlarni maqsam ekan. Qanday miyamga kiradi? Bularni men bilmayman deganman-da. Keyin o'sha lug'atlarni albatta lug'at daftari tutganman. Sizlarga o'xshab men ham bitta daftarda masalan, polni bitta tomoni inglizcha so'zlar, ikkinchi tomoni nima bo'lgan? O'sha lug'atlarni nima qilsam bo'lar ekan deganman-da. Lug'atlarni har kuni bitta mashqdan 10-15 tadan lug'at chiqarsa, qo'shilarsa domlam o'rgatayotgan qoidalar va mashqlarni qilyapman, lekin lug'at ko'payib ketib qolyapti. Shunda o'ylaganman, tarjima yodlasam zerikib qolyapman. Har kuni 20 ta 30 ta bitta darsdan lug'at tushadi. Hammasini yodlagan odam to'g'risi vaqti yo'qda, o'tirishingiz kerak bitta paytda qarab olib, xo'p, dog degani kuchukcha, cat degani mushukcha deb har kuni yodlab zerikkanman to'g'risi. Men bir kun ikki kun qilmaysizlar. Men misol uchun 7 yil ingliz tili o'qiganman. 1 yil ingliz tili grammatika o'qiganman, 6 yil self study qilganman. 18 yoshimda 253 ball olganman TOEFL CBT degan testdan. Sevganman, ingliz tilini sevish kerak. Lekin bunga o'z-o'zidan bo'lmagan, har kuni lug'at yodlash uchun unaqa sabr-sakkiz darajaga IELTSga o'girganim 8,5 ga to'g'ri keladi. 18 yoshimda 8,5 ga to'g'ri kelgan TOEFL CBT olganman. Sertifikatim ham baholasizlar Instagramga kirsin turibdi. 2004dan 2005da olingan. Xullas shu. Qanday qilgansiz? Zerikkanman, lug'atlardan zerikkanman. Nimadir qilish kerak. Keyin lug'atlardan qarasam, baribir gap tuzaman unda. O'sha lug'atlarga kitobda ham baribir tayyor gap tuziladi. O'sha lug'atlarga gapni o'zim tuzib qo'ya qolay deganman. O'sha lug'atlarga keyin qarasam, sekin-sekin gap tuzgan. Masalan, cat, dog desa, kitobda bir marta keladi. Shu cat bilan dog bir marta keladi xolos. Xolismi yo'qmi? Qanaqa zo'r kitob bo'lsa ham, o'sha lug'atlar kitobingizda bir marta keladi. Tabiiyki, miyangiz ko'tarolmaydi. Bir marta ishlatilgan lug'atni miyangiz nima deydi? Tim bo'lib siz ishtirok etmayapsiz, gap tayyor turibdi, bitta so'z tushib qolyapti, tepada so'z siz shu gapga qo'yyapsiz. Masalan, bir narsa eat bone deb qo'yapti. Nimadir suyakni yedi desa, tabiiyki dog deb qo'yasiz, cat deb qo'ymaysiz, masalan, boshqa hayvonni qo'ymaysiz. Mana shu yerda keyin aytganmanki, men o'zim tuzay deganman. Keyin o'zim tuzganman shu dogga. Men I have a dog, his name is masalan Chapa deganman. I don't like cats because they can masalan tear my face deganman. Ular betim tirnab olishi mumkin, bir shunday yomon ko'raman. Mana shunaqa qilib gap tuzganman. Qarasam, menga qiziqarliroq ekan. Hech mana qayerdagi menga aloqasi yo'q bo'lgan lug'atlar yodlab, har kuni yodlab, og'ir menga lekin nimasamki, menga gaplashish yo'q, menga muloqot qilish, gaplar tuzib, udar gap yasab, shirinlarni lol qoldirish. O'zim yoshimdan katta institutda o'qiyotgan akalar yozda o'sha hozirgi istiqbol yoshlar oldingi Central Asian Free Exchange deydi, qisqartmasi kafe. O'sha kutubxonaga seshanba kunlari debatga kelganda men ularni lol qoldiraman deb lug'atlardan storylar tuzib, o'zim tuzib, xullas kalom lug'atlardan bemalol gap tuzadigan bo'lib ketish orzuim bo'lgan. Har kun tuzarganman. Bu boshida zerikarli bo'ladi, 1-2 kun, 3 kun, 4 kun. Bunga qaraysiz, lekin 1-2 oy davomida eng muhimi bir xilda if you continuously do it, if you have a discipline, if you don't care about how boring it is or how long it's taking, you'll quickly realize, you'll start to realize that you will have become adapted to it, you have become skilled at it, and it's becoming easier for you, and your creativity is just jumping through the roof, and everything is going greatly. You don't even notice that you started talking in English. Hozir xuddi sizlar bilmay qolganda, o'zim ham sezmay qolganman. Ingliz tilida qarasam gapiryapman ekan. Sraz o'sha wow deganman. Albatta bu bo'lmagan o'zida-o'zi. Undan oldin storylar qilib 50 mingtami, 100 mingtami gap yasab tashlaganman-da o'zim. Hozirgi endi mana sizlarning holatlaringga keladigan bo'lsak, nimaga gapirolmayapsizlar? Albatta qo'rquv bor. Oldin sizlarga balkim shudir, qo'rquvlaring bo'lishi mumkin darsda yoki haqiqatan hammada ham bo'ladi. Qolganlar qanaqa qarayapti ekan, Misol analiz qilib turasiz постоянно. Hozir men gapirsam xato qilsam qolganlar qanaqa gapiradi. Shu narsalar bo'lishi mumkin yoki prosta haqiqatdan optiyog'lik yoki shular hamma sabablar birgalikda yig'indisi bo'lishi mumkin. Demak, mabodo optdan bo'ladigan bo'lsa, buni ishini ko'p gap tuzasiz, optingiz oshib ketadi. Shu xolos. Gapirishni tushunaman, gapirishni qo'rqasiz. Shuning uchun uyda story yozishda esa hech kim qarab turgani yo'q. Abdulaziz story tuzmayapsanmi deb qarab turmaydi. O'zingiz bemalol maza qilib story tuzishingiz kerak. Xo'p, endi story nima u? Manimcha kelishdik, story hamma muammolaringizni yechimi ekan. Ideyalarni oshirish, optingizni oshirish, ayniqsa gapirishdan qo'rqadigan bo'lsangiz, bu story tuzsiz, sizni speakingingiz ancha oshib ketadi. Ertaga insho yozib aytmaydigan, yashirin qo'rquvingiz bu insho. Your worst enemy is probably writing. Why? Because you don't want to write essays. I have around 20-30 students, of whom only 2 write essays. 2. What does it mean? It means that everybody is afraid of writing. Everybody is afraid of being judged by, because of their writing, because how basic their writing ideas, arguments, drama, and vocabulary might look to the teacher or to others. That's why they don't want to participate in writing challenges. They don't want to share their writing. They don't want to get a feedback. They don't want nobody in this world to look at their essay. But unfortunately, they're going to be exposed in the real exam, and before that, even in the mock exam. And that's not the easy, greatest approach to anything. If you are afraid of anything, you're probably going to fail at it. If I want to learn how to cook, but I'm afraid I might burn the kitchen, or I might, overcook the dish, or, spoil some ingredient in the food, I'm probably not going to make a great expert in the future from cooking, because I'm just afraid of experimenting, of trying out new things, or working on my weak sides. That's why you need to work on your weak side and be open to the changes and being judged and getting a really bad, crappy feedback. And of course, you are going to be judged. The best thing, the only way not to be judged is to do nothing. Even then you will be judged by everybody, even by your neighbors, everyone else. They will say, Abdulaziz, he didn't do anything with his life. He just sat at home. He didn't want any feedback. That's why he didn't do anything. He sat at home, watched TV, ate chips, and drank cola all day. Yeah, we don't remember anything about him. Like, he didn't do any good deeds in his life. So if you don't want that, if you want to improve yourself, if you want to be, if you want to get 8, let's say, and if you want to improve and you want to be more sociable in the future, you need to take risks. You need to be more open to the feedback, regardless of whether it is positive or negative. You should be comfortable being uncomfortable, getting risky, pushing yourself, being exposed. You have to do the things that are uncomfortable to you. Okay, this is not a motivation. This is like, you don't want to work on your writing. You like to be comfortable. That's why, because writing essay is uncomfortable. You don't want to participate in 52 exercises with your friends to improve your speaking. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. You want to sit at home, do the exercises on the paper in the class, and not even raise your hand, and somehow get 8 from IELTS. Even when you go to the university, and you get a grant, government grant, you want to be as little, as less active as possible in the university, and quietly finish your university, and quietly get to the work, and go to the work every day quietly, as quietly as possible, without disturbing anyone, without sharing your ideas, without making a new, opening, innovation. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to explore new opportunities. You don't want to participate in any challenges. You want to be as average as possible, not to be outstanding. You don't want to shine. You don't want to share your talent. I don't know. If you want to do like this, if you like that, go ahead. Don't do anything. But if you want to do some, really groundbreaking things, regardless of how much money you have in your pocket, you have to take risks. You have to be willing to try, at least for 1 month, things that your teacher, someone that you find as an expert, is recommending you to do. If they recommend you and show you the results of 18 years of expertise, and saying that this is going to work for your benefit, why don't you try it, right? show me one person who tried all of my stories, reviews, and feedbacks and 52s, and they said, yeah, it didn't work. Yeah, can you find someone like that? Of course not. So what I'm asking is, we should learn how to do story. Story is better than just memorizing the list of vocabulary. Number one, because it's more interesting. Just tell me, what is more interesting? Trying to memorize the list of words that you are seeing for the first time, and with the translation, and probably with the transcript, like with the parentheses that you're never going to repeat again or look at even again, or making a story somehow relatable story where you are probably the main hero of the story, and you use the most complex grammar that that your teacher have shared with you. You try uncomfortable new formulas. You try to use everything that you learned in the classroom in that story, by trying to improve your creativity, so that in your writing and reading, in your writing and speaking section, the ideas will come up to you easily without any pause or hesitation. So it's more interesting. So vocabulary story is more interesting. That's why we're doing it. Number two, it's more effective. You are going to remember the words in the story for longer than let's say, the list of vocabulary. Everybody that you know of is trying to memorize the list of vocabulary, like whether it is advanced vocabulary, intermediate, beginner, it doesn't matter. For beginners, I understand. If you're a beginner, no problem. You can't understand what I'm talking about right now if you're a beginner, right? If you're after elementary, if you're at about pre-intermediate, intermediate, or even advanced. I don't believe that there are anyone advanced here, maybe one or two people. But anyways, so the best thing you do is vocabulary story, because if you're intermediate or upper intermediate, you don't want to look at the vocabulary. Looking at the vocabulary list is boring to you. You don't want to sit for hours and hours just looking at the vocabulary and trying to remember. And because your mind is saying, hey, Abdulaziz, I'm bored of it. I know so much about English. Why don't we do something else? Why don't we do some risky, new, things that push our challenges our brain to make new stories, make more creative ideas using the vocabulary here, instead of just memorizing the list, which are irrelevant to each other, not linked. If you lose one, you're going to lose others, right? So it's more interesting, it's more memorable, you can, so more effective, you can remember for longer than the list of words. And another reason why we should be doing vocabulary story is because, what was the reason? Yeah, it's more IELTS related than just the list of vocabulary. If you remember, let's say you did great vocabulary remembering exercise, yeah, and in the exam, oh, just 1 second. Somebody's saying they can't hear my voice. I hope everybody can hear me. So let's say in the exam you memorized everything, and the examiner looks at you and says, they asked you questions, and you remember every vocabulary. Let's say the cooking topic is cooking, and the word that you're looking for is cuisine. Cuisine is a type of national food of one country, right? So you memorize this as cuisine is milli taomlar, right? So when they look at you and they ask you, what's your first food, and you say, so'z bor edi, hali so'z nima edi? Kuisinemi, kuisinemi qanaqa o'qilardi? Aksiga olib turguchi formulasini ham eslab qolmadim. Hali turguchi qovusini ham eslab qolmadim, transkripsiyasini. Nima edi? Xo'p, kuisinemi, kuzimi? Ma'nosi nima edi? Milliy taomlarmi? Xo'p, endi gap aytchi, masalan, men milliy taomlarni yaxshi ko'raman. Okay, I like cuisine deymanmi, I like national cuisine deymanmi? Cuisine o'zi national cuisine. Sizda mana shu narsalar o'tyapti-da. While you process all these things, what examiner sees is, hey, I don't know what can I talk about, right? I have not prepared for this. I have vocabulary, probably basic ones, right? Very limited. I don't know what to talk about. I probably have a very poor grammar, because even the basic elementary grammar right now, to make such elementary sentences, is a big challenge for me. I'm looking at the examiner, but I don't know what to talk about, because I'm processing everything in Uzbek first. Even if I do it successfully, then I will move on to make it in English, which is probably going to take some more minutes, and probably leads to the lowering of my score, because exam is looking at me while I'm doing all this in my brain. Examiner is looking at me and saying, yeah, this guy is not ready. Or this guy is probably below 5. Do you see why I'm saying vocabulary story? I don't have to prove my everything, like story, review, feedback, 52, like this. Hozir mana ketgan oxirgi 25 minutni, 19 mi, necha minut bo'lsa ham aytib berganim kabi, har narsa isbotlashim shart emasda, tushuninglar. Sizlar yana maqtanishga kirib qolmasin. Eng isbotlangan, eng shakllar joyida o'qiyapsizlar hozir. Men intellekt aytmayapman, men davrda aytyapman. Masalan, 2006-yil, sizlar o'zingizlar ko'plaring, yosh hamsizlar-ku. 2008-yilda, 2006-yilda to'g'ri kelganlaringda sal boshqacharoq narsalar qildirishim mumkin. Lekin hozir eng o'sha pishgan joyga kelyapsizlar. Mazza qilib bajaringlar story. Endi story qanaqa qilinadi, birgalikda qilaylik. Savollar yo'qmi, nimaga? Birinchi essentialni birinchi leveldan boshlaymiz. Hamma tushunyapti nima deyotganimni? Mana men hayotiy nima qilyapman, agar sal shubhalaring bo'lsa, IELTS Tigers Clubga kirib turib #memories desangiz chiqadi. Men ingliz tilini qanaqa o'qiganim haqida oz-moz gapirib ketgan joylarim bor. Kutubxonada har kuni, Xudoning bergan kuni kutubxonada o'tirardim. To'xtamay o'sha yerda kitoblar o'qirdim. Lug'atlarni qaraganimda Oxford ikkita variant bor lug'atni qarashni. Oxford Dictionary bor edi. Men transkripsiyani o'qiganman. Sizda birorta transkripsiyani qarab yodlamayapsiz-da so'zni. Sizga hozir undan ham oson chiqqan. Eshitib, qaytarib qo'ya qolasiz. Eshitasiz, qaytarib qo'ya qolasiz. Yoki menga o'xshab transkripsiyadan o'rgan. Lekin aytib qo'y, omorosti zerikarli vaqtingizni oladi. Qilaverasiz, qilavering. Eshitasiz agar ikkita narsani yutasiz. Pronunciation, ya'ni shu so'zni o'zbek tilida, ingliz tilida, inglizlarga o'xshab gapirasiz. Masalan, demak qarangda hammamiz, men ham shuni chidaman. Mana shu so'zni-chi kitobdan o'qimaganmiz. Chunki loni bizga lo deb o'qishni o'rganganmiz. Qayerdan bo'lsa ham, lo bo'ladi. Yer qo'shgandan keyin lo yer bo'ladi-da, domla deymiz. Lekin ba'zilar lavier deydi, вообще sevgishunos deydi. Bilasizlar, advokatlar juda romantik bo'ladi deb aytolmaymiz. Endi 50 yillik bilmadim, odamga qarab. Lekin lavier emas, lawyer. Sizdan men ham boshqalardan eshitib o'rganganmiz. Mana tuppa-tusi ishlab turgan shundoq ham nima bor ekan? Sistema bor ekan. Shuni yangilash kerak yo'q. Ishlab turgan bo'lsa, mana shipwreck bilmasliklaring sababi yagona. Chunki oldin eshitmagansizlar birontadan. Kema, buzilgan kema nima deydi? Qaytaman, broken shipmi deysiz? Uni shipwreck deyir ekan. Agar shipwreckni mana shu essentialda nechinchi unitini qilmagan bo'lsangiz, demak sizda yo'q shu so'z. Endi mana tushunlaylar, demak har bitta story qilishdan oldin lug'at har bittasini eshitib chiqishga qanaqa aytilishini. Agar eshitib ulardagidek aytsangiz, inglizlarga o'xshab story qilasiz. Inglizlarga o'xshab imtihonchiga qaraysizda, tell me about the time when you had an accident deb qo'ysa, misol uchun you ko'pchilik kali aytishni bilmaydi. Shipwreck o'shani ishlatib turib hozir yomon speaking qilaman deysizda. I want to talk about the one time when our ship was wrecked, and in this shipwrecked scene I had to swim and go to the shore. It was not an easy choice. Mana shunaqa gapirib imtihonchi bitta sekin molchasini olib ko'zini artib, "Bor ekansan bolam. Bilasanmi, men hech marta aylak futbolda eshitdim bugun" deb yig'lab yelkangizni qo'l qilib futbolkani almashtirgan qilib borasiz. Chunki ancha yig'lab oladi. Xullas shu. Tushundingizmi? Imtihonga mazza qilib o'zingizni yurishni xohlasangiz, mana shu yerda siz sal tiylashingiz kerak, sal o'zingizni qiynashingiz kerak. Vocabulary story qiynalish oson emas, zerikarli narsa boshida. Lekin yo'lingizni topib olgandan keyin mana hozir men ishlaringda yana shu qizni maqtaydim demanglar, masalan Mufazzalxon yoki eng ko'p story tuzganlardan so'rab olasizlar, o'zlaringiz Zulfizarxon ham balkim tuzib turgandir. Boshqalar mana Ziyodullar ham bilasizlar aktiv. Ular so'rasalang, story tuzish osonmi? Ha, story tuzish oson. Siz domla yomon dedi-yu, oson. Boshida bo'lishi mumkin, hozir oson deydi. Ular shunaqa. Storyni endi qanaqa qilinadi? Birgalikda qilamiz. Tayyor. Ana achieve. Mana shuni achieve deydi, boshqa deydi. Mana shuni ham noto'g'ri aytganlar bor. Buni aytishim sababi masxara qilmayapman, noto'g'ri aytganlar. Hammamiz o'rgangan kelganmiz. Lekin achieve ni ikki kishi to'g'ri aytadi. Yo, o'sha transkripsiyasidan ko'rib olganlar yoki ingliz tilida videolar yoki domlasi aytgani uchun qaytarib eshitgan. Boshqacha yo'li yo'q. Biz bo'lsa 3-toifa bo'lgimiz keladi. Biz kitobdan ham transkripsiyadan ham yozmaymiz daftarimizga. Ya'ni ba'zilarimizda kimga tegishli bo'lsa tip yetorsin o'sha odamga gap. Nima ham qilmaymiz, domladan keyin qaytarmaymiz. Achieve desa o'tiraveramiz darsda. Nima tugamayapti dars, tezroq borib uyga deb. Achieve. Mana ko'ryapsizmi? Aytishimiz kerak, eshitishimiz kerak, aytishimiz kerak. Shunchaki tursak uyimizga kelib bironta odam lug'atni quyib ketmaydi miyamizga. Xo'p, eshityapmiz, qaytaryapmiz. Achieve.
To achieve something is to successfully do it after trying hard.
Mana zo'r, mana definitionni bilan agar qarasam, imtihon kuni ham kelib, tell me about the time when you, misol uchun bir narsa dedi, misol. Umuman savol berilib, kutilmagan savol.
Tell me about your car.
Tell me about the car. Achieve nima aloqasi bor, to'g'rimi? Lekin mana achieve ishlatib o'raman. Chunki vokabulari zo'r o'rganim uchun creativity, tezda gap tuzib olish zo'r bo'ladi, improvizatsiya zo'r bo'ladi. Qarang. I want to talk about the time when I won an award of a car. I was competing in a football match where I had to try very hard and win a competing team. And the reward for this game was actually a car that I won because I achieved such a great score. Qalay bo'ldi? Mana hamma yo'q ko'rinadi, tabiiy bo'ldi. Bir kishi so'radi, lug'at tasodifan ochdim. Sabab story. Nimaga tuzalasan sen, domla? Nima tezsan? Story. Boshqa hech qanday nimam yo'q. Qanaqa diyetaga amal qilmayman, ertalab 20 ta tuxum yutaman, bir narsa demayman. Shuncha story so'ras, eshitaverasiz, qanaqa qilib aytishini eshitaverasiz. Qarasangiz, o'sha shunaqangi bagati tusiga olib ketasiz. Xudo xolasa. Okay? Niyat xolis qilish kerak, bismillah deb, va shunaqa qilib mana keyingi so'z.
I was happy that I could achieve my goal.
Advise.
Misolni ham eshitib qo'yinglar, zarari yo'q.
To advise someone is to tell them what to do.
To advise someone is to tell them what to do. My friend advised me to participate in this competition where I could achieve the reward of winning a car. Mana ko'ryapsizmi? Mana shunaqa qilishga. Keyin e'tibor bergan bo'lsalaring, so'z tuzayotganimda men I wanted to achieve bir bola, someone advised me bir narsa demadimda, men mana shu lug'atlarni xuddi hozir audioda definitionni qanday aytyapti, o'shanaqa qilib aytishga harakat qildim. Someone advised me to participate in a competition deyapman. Sal nima deydi? Soxtaroq chiqyaptimi? Nima deysizlar? Mana bu ofitsialniroq. Men o'zimni gapirmayman. Salom Muhammad Rizo, qalaysiz? Bugun keldingizmi? Bugun story qilmabsiz-da. Yaxshi sport qilasiz bugun demayman-ku. O'shanga nima demoqchiman? Native speakerlarga o'xshab gapirgan bo'lasiz. Eshitaversangiz, ularning lug'atini eshitaversangiz, shunaqangi native speakerlardek bo'lib qolasiz. Chunki native speakerlar o'zbeklarga o'xshab xarakterda gapirmaydi. How are you today? Yesterday was a good choyxona, yeah? deb gapirmaydi. Tushundingiz? Ular o'zining mimikalari bor, gestikulatsiyalari bor, xarakteri bor, gapirish uslubi bor. O'shani ham kopiya qilishning yagona yo'li nima? Yana qaytaraman. Eshitib qaytarish. Ular gapirishini e'tibor bering, eshitib qaytaring. Rus tillarida o'zining gapirish xarakteri bor, inglizlarga bor.
My mother often advises people about their money.
My mother often advises people about their money. Example-ni mana shunaqa qilib o'qib qo'yaman. Endi tasavvur qiling, mana ikkita uchta lug'atni o'rgandik, mana achieve, advise, keyingisi nima ekan? Already. Mana shu so'zlarga mana story tushyapman. Nima qilaman? Hali Behruz bergan so'radi, mana bir ikkitalarni so'ralar. Menda kelmayapti, story qiyin-da dedi. Story qiyin emas. Siz 20 ta so'zga qanday qilib story tuzaman deb o'ylayapsiz-da. Siz uni o'ylamang. Aytaymi, mana o'ylang. Siz o'sha achieve ga gap tutsam bo'ldi deng. Umringizda bir narsa achieve qilganmisiz? O'shandan boshlang gapni. Men xohlamayman o'zim qatnashib. Siz boshqa narsa ayting. Eshmatjon, achieved something deb gap tuzib turing. RCP ni aralashtiringda. Keyin RCP ni aytgancha daftar muqovasiga RCP deb katta qilib yozib olganmisiz? Bilasizlar, RCP bu murakkab grammatika. Qolganlar bilmasa ham bo'ladi. IELTS 8 ga kirsin, o'sha yerda #5 desa chiqadi. RCP shuna murakkab grammatika. Shu murakkab grammatikani olasizda story tuzayotganingizda, masalan, achieve dan boshlaysiz. I would like to achieve a reward which is $100 million. Men mukofotni yutib olmoqchiman, erishmoqchiman. Bu $100 million deyapsiz. Mana qizig'a o'zi qanaqa mukofot? Nima o'zi? Ana shu lug'atda achieveni keyingi so'z advice ga bog'lash uchun o'zingiz savol berishingiz kerak. O'sha achieve qilgan odam yoki men 100 millionni achieve qilmoqchiman, ha? Lekin advice, kim advice qildi? Nima advice qildi? Nima haqida advice qildi? Nega advice qildi deb savol so'raysiz, keyin achieve ga haligi advice bog'lanadigan bitta ideya keladi. Tushundingiz? Zo'r ideya kelishi uchun o'zingiz zo'r savol berishni bilishingiz kerak-da. Zo'r ideya kelishi uchun zo'r savol berishni bilishingiz kerak. Siz agar bir narsaga yutuqqa erishgan bo'lsangiz, achieve qilgan bo'lsangiz, o'sha achieve keyingi so'z advice. Nima advice qilingan? Tabiiyki o'sha narsani achieve qilish advice qilingan bo'lsa kerak. Birinchi kelgan narsa sizga ham shu, menga ham shu. Men bir narsaga yutuqqa erishdim, katta mukofotga erishdim, yutuqqa erishdim. Shuni kim advice qiladi? Dadam advice qiladi, san, masalan. My father, yoki misol, if I talk about the who, yoki talkda yomon ko'rasizlar bilaman. If I try to remember who advised me to participate in this competition, it was my father. Ko'rdingiz? Qalay, story qilish osonmikan? Agar lug'atni o'ylaysiz, bitta lug'atni o'ylashingiz kerak bu vaqtda. O'shanga bitta gap tuzasiz. Chuqur o'ylamaysiz. 20-chi gapga nima qilaman ekan? Ikkinchi lug'at qanday bog'laman ekan demaysiz. Bo'lmasam hamma yoqda o'ylab olib turib, keyin tushsiz, faqat tarjima qilayotgan bo'lasiz. O'zbek tilida o'ylab olasiz, keyin uni nima ingliz tiliga tarjima qilasiz. Ingliz tilida buni qilib bo'lmaydi. U utopiya, yo'q davlatda, yo'q mamlakatlarda shunaqa qila olasiz. Shu o'zbekchada birinchi qilib olib turib, keyin ingliz tiliga qilayotganlar javob beraman, rus tilini yaxshi bilmaydi. Rus tilida unaqa gapirolmaydi-da. Shuning uchun perevod qilmagan yaxshi. Chunki ingliz tili bilan o'zbek tili bitta til emas, turkiy til emas. Xo'p, nima qilish kerak bo'lsa, siz o'sha lug'atni o'zini o'ylaysiz. Advice. Advice o'ylaysiz. Demak, who advised me deysiz. So my father was a person who advised me to participate in this competition deysiz. Keyingisi mana. Ko'ryapsiz, birinchi gapga condition ishladim, relative clause ishladim, ikkinchisiga condition ishladim, lug'atga gap tuzdim, birinchisiga tuzib bo'lgandan keyin ikkinchi lug'atni qanday bog'lasam ekan deb o'yladim. Ikkini o'ylayotganda 3ni yo 1ni, 8, 20chini o'ylamadim. Shu lug'atni qanday qilib bo'lsa ham birga bog'lab gap tuzdim. Hech kimda savol yo'qmi? Birinchi kitobdan mana tuzsa bo'lar ekanmi, yo'qmi? Kelinglar bilanchi yana bitta ko'ramiz. Buni 6-kitobimi, 5-kitobidan bitta ko'ramiz. Keyin ana kitobimiz bor-ku, IELTS vocabulary bor-ku, ungacha topib qo'ygan gruppadan, IELTS vocabularydan ham bilasizlar, u rosa IELTS bob kitob. O'shani ham o'shandan birga tashlaymiz. 6-kitob topaylik, 6-kitob bormi-kan? 6-kitobi, second edition ekan. Sizlardagisi birinchi edition kitoblaring. Programma ishlatmanglar, iltimos.
Then it is dull, dark.
Nima ishlatinglar? YouTube ishlatinglar. YouTube'da baribir materiallaringiz yangi. Keyin programmada qaytmaydi. Review qilmoqchi bo'lsa, eshitib qaytarmoqchi bo'lsa, mana shadowingda aytayapti, hamma yoq maqtayapti. IELTS zona maqtayapti, hamma markazlar maqtayapti. Baribir qilmaydigan-yu. Lekin rosa afsuslanasizlar, aytib qo'yay. Oxiri ichkilikka berib ketasizlarmi? Rosa afsuslanasizlar oxiri. Aniq. Chunki menga o'rgatgan, betimga sukrab qo'ysa ham haqiqatni qilmasdim deysizlar. Shadowing bu sizni speakingiz bilan listeningizni 8 qilib beradigan yagona narsa. 1000 marta mock topshirsangiz ham, 5000 marta haqiqiy IELTS topshirsangiz ham shadowing qilmagunizcha odam bo'lmaysiz. Listening va speakingdan. Mana tasodifan bitta unit ochib yubordik, 6-kitob. Hop.
And lifeless.
After the fire, this section of forest is rather dreary. Duplicate.
To duplicate something means to copy.
She duplicated her friend's movements like she was in front of a mirror.
All right, so mana uchta so'z ko'rdik. Dreary, duplicate and electromagnetic, yeah? Dreary, duplicate and electromagnetic. Bu nima degani? Demak, dreary, hozir mana ko'rlang nima ekan? Qayta olaman, esimdan chiqib qolmasin. If something is dreary, that's the full dull and dark and lifeless. Dull, sergal, boring, dark or lifeless. Tell me about the bir narsa so'raylar, buni savol beringlar, mana shu lug'atlar ishlatib, mana story tuzib beraman sizlarga. Mana, tell me about it. Okay, I want to talk about the hometown where I live. It's the place where it is right beyond the dreary fields. Qani mana shahrim yomon deb qo'ydimmi? Yo'q, xiyonatga kiradi-yu. Yo'q. Men dedim, shahrim o'sha dreary joylardan xoli boshqa joyda deyapman. Tushundingiz? Men shahrim dreary joy emas deyapman. Hech kim sizga darak ayting degan yo'q. Mana story tuzyapman, qani. I live in a place which is not dreary. It's filled with life. Everybody's happy. There are concerts and festivals and parks and gardens. People lie on the fields and talk about their life, and everybody smiles and has a picnic.
Rather dreary.
Duplicate something.
Duplicate. And there are a number of cities which are trying to duplicate our lifestyle in our city. Qalay bo'ldi? Ba'zi shaharlar bor, bizni hayot tarzimizni duplicate qilmoqchi bo'lyapti, kopiya qilmoqchi, biz shahrimizga o'xshamoqchi bo'lyapti deb. Qat ikkalasi ham safsata bo'lishi mumkin-da misol. Lekin hech kim sizdan so'ramaydi. To'xtab tekshiramiz, hozir Google'ga kiramiz, Google Map'ni ochamiz demaydi. Tushunyapsizlar, mana vocabulary storymi ekan, sira yo boshlasam. IELTS vocabularydan ham qilib ko'raylikmi? Tak, lug'atni boshladik, Mana bu yerdan olib turaveramiz. Buni mashqlar. Ichida mashqlarni ham qilishingiz kerak o'zingiz. Uyda qilaverasiz, yozma. Men xudo xolasa insga haqiqiy inst o'quvchisini tayyorlayapmanda, sabab kitoblarni bersa mazasi qochib qoladi. Ko'pchilik imtihon nima kuni haqiqiy inst o'qiyotgan paytingiz, bu yerda o'zingiz qilaverib, self study gancha o'rganib qolasiz, domla faqat praktikaga yordam berasiz sizga. Kitobdagi mashqlarni to'ldirish bo'yicha o'zingizga eplaygan bo'lib ketasiz. Hozir qiynalayapti turganingiz ko'p o'ylayverasiz, ishlaringda boru, men buni mashq o'zim qildimmi, qiynaldim deb ishongan, universitetga borganingda rahmat deysan. Yaxshi ham nima qilgan ekan, domla meni self studyga, independent life'ga tayyorlabdi deysan. Tak, qara lug'atlar: administrators, explicit, published, surveys, domestic, implicit and sector. Shu definition bilan berganman. Bo'ylaga nima deysizlar? Administrative boshlaymiz. Administrate means to govern, to administer. What's your hobby? What's your hobby? I administrated a group of people to read books every day. So we have a book club, and we also have a Telegram channel where we try to convince each other to try to read books, regardless of their domestic work or professional work. We try to find explicit ways of reading books at home, and we try to export the ideas that we learn from the book to others so that we can discuss it together. Even if the information is implicit, regardless of how much money we have as an income, we try to innovate with the ideas and invoke inspiration between each other, maybe to try to publish any books in the future so that we can, regardless of our sector, in which sector we'll work, we want to become the best versions of ourselves, regardless of gender or sex, males or females. And we also have, we sometimes provide surveys after the, reading hobby. We try to have a survey to discuss what we understood from the text. Mana ko'rdingizmi, tezlikda lug'atlar o'z o'rnida ishlatish, internet hammasi ichida, xullas shu eshitib qaytarasiz boshqa. Prosta bu bitta o'q bilan shuncha quyondirgan, ham talaffuz, ideya tezligi, lug'atlar o'z o'rnida ishlatish, grammatika, mana shuncha narsani o'z ichiga olgan boshqa birorta mashq yo'qda, tushunyapsizmi? Ideal narsani topganingizdan keyin men oqtaramni deysiz. Masalan, men oqtarmasdim. Agar bosh og'rig'iga zo'r dori desa, boshim og'riyotgan bo'lsa, shu zo'r doriligini bilsam, mana 18 yillik tajriba deb tursa, issam rostdan bosh og'rim eng muhimi qolsa, yana zo'roq bormikan demasdim. Bajarardim. Agar topsam ham mayli, пожалуйста, lug'at yodlamoqchiman, undan ham zo'r yo'lini topdim. Bunaqa deb ana shuncha foydasini berar ekan, siz aytgancha. Undan ham ko'pini berar ekan siz. Пожалуйста. Bizda boshqa variant ham yo'q, lekin buni ham qilgimiz kelmaydi ko'pchiligimiz. Story chala tashlayotganlarga tegishli bu gap. Qaysidan yana nima qilaylik? Advanced grammardan qilaylikmi? Bu endi bu domlar upper intermediate bu. Siz boshqa advanced vocabulary qilamiz. Googledan siz bilan birgalikda mana qarab olganim yo'q. Advanced vocabulary for nima deydi? Aytinglar, qaysi mavzuga?
Government yoki biznesga qilaylik domla.
Mana nitty-gritty. Nitty-gritty is an English idiom that means the essential parts or details of a document or activity or situation. Muhim qismi ekan, important degani nitty-gritty ekan. All right. Shu work haqida savol beringlar.
Tell me about your work.
Nitty-gritty part of my work, it's first of all, the most important part is of course to work with people. Without knowing how to work with people, you might not, become the best professional in this field, because the working with others is a nitty-gritty part of the business. Qani. Endi Kingsni bog'lanmaysiz, siz collateral degani 5-6 ma'nosi bor. Collateral ikkinchi asosiy mas degan ma'nosi ham bor. Harbiy ma'noda collateral bir kishiga otsa, unga emas yonidagiga tegib kelsa, u collateral damage deydi. Bu yerdagisi nima ma'noda ekan? Hozir collateral qarasam. Internetda shuncha narsa bor, qarang mana shular o'qiyman, siz ham baribir lug'at boyligingiz zo'r bo'lishi kerak. O'qishingiz kerak, qochib yurish kerak emas. Mana in the banking industry, lender usually requires collateral before approving a loan. Collateral is an asset that guarantees the payment of debt, real estate, vehicles. So yeah, collateral is something that you put as a way to achieve a loan, like to invest, not to guarantee your guarantee that you can pay the money back to the bank. So another important part is that we have a huge list of collateral where if we want to loan some money from the bank, we can put them as a collateral. Digital nomad is someone who travels around the world without any fixed home base. They don't have a house or home. They can travel anywhere they want because their business doesn't depend on their location. So yeah, I can't call myself digital nomad because I have to sit in one place. We have an office, and I would like maybe somehow in the future become a digital nomad who has the no limit to travel, and they can work from anywhere they want from their laptop. Umid qilaman, menimcha yetarlicha misollar bo'ldi. Yo savollar bormi? Story qilish kerak, qisqasi. Storyda gap ko'p. Kim agar shuni jiddiy qabul qilgan bo'lsa, bugungi darsdan keyin mana story qilish qobiliyati, odamni gapirish qobiliyatiga teng ekanligini bilsa. Mana qo'rqyapsizlar speakingdan, mana kim 8 olyapti speakingdan, 7 yoki yuqori. Hech kim. Chunki speakingdan qo'rqasizlar, lug'at boyliklaring kam. Ikkalasini ham yechimiz story, baribir qarang. Ikkalasini yechimiz. Storyni-chi g'ajib tashlashlaringga nima to'sqinlik qilyapti hozir? Mana 6 ta kitobdan yurak bilan, sevgi bilan maza qilib yeb olishlaringga 6 ta essential lug'atlarni hammasiga essentialga story tuzib chiqishlaringga nima to'sqinlik qilyapti?
Hech nima to'sqinlik qilgani yo'q, domla.
Hozir masalan 10 soat o'qisalaringlar, sizlar hech qanday charchamagan paytdasizlar, yoshdasizlar. Ballarni yig'lab bo'lmaydi. Katta sabab bilan nimaga? Chunki ballan yo'q hamda. Qo'y bilyapti, domla, hammasi o'q chiqyapti edi-da. O'shanga aytmoqchimanki, hozir 10 soat dars qilishlaring mumkin, xohlasalaring. Uni o'rniga boshqa narsa qilyapsizlar. Sizlarga mana challenge. Essentialni tugatinglar bugun. Qattiq niyat qilinglar, qo'rqib ketasizlar bugun kechqurun uxlashlaringdan oldin natijani ko'rib. Ammo sevgi bilan aldash yo'q. Hamma so'zni eshitasiz, qanaqa aytilishini qaraysiz. Yozma ham, typing ham qilib tashlang, audio ham qilib tashlang, iloj bo'lsa. Lekin eng zo'ri baribir o'sha ikkalasini qilish, agar undan ham sal pastroq bo'lsa, chunki tezlikka erishadigan odamlar typing qilgan vaqtim yo'q. Siz mayli audioni o'zida tashlasangiz ham bo'ladi. Lug'atlarni native speakerlar qanday aytsa o'shanday ayting. Erinmang. Don't think that pronouncing the word correctly is a secondary thing. It is the number one thing. You have to pronounce the words correctly. If you don't care about pronunciation, if you don't press play on YouTube on how to pronounce those words correctly, and maybe you are saying, I'm making a story, it's not important. As long as I have a complex grammar in my sentence, it doesn't matter. You're making two mistakes. Number one, in the real exam, you cannot pronounce the word correctly, and the examiner will think that you didn't use the word actually. So'zni asli ishlatmading deb o'ylaydi. Bir. Ikkinchisi esa, listeningda shu so'z ishlatilsa-da, oldin shu so'zni eshitgan bo'lsang-da, lekin to'g'ri talaffuz qilmaganing uchun, in the listening part, you're going to miss it. Eshitmay qolsa quloqning tagidan o'tib ketadi shu so'z. Domla eshitmoq, u ani o'zimizga collateral ekan, men keyin bildim. Chiqqanimdan bittaqasidan so'radim, bittalardan so'radim. 3-chi javobi, 5-chi javobi, 39-chi javobi collateral edi, ikkitalar bo'ladi. O'sha so'zni men collateral deb yozib qo'yibman deysiz. Chunki nima? Story qilganingizda siz yozma qilardingiz, audio qilmasdingiz. Men bo'lganda ikkalasini qilardim. Bugun 6 ta essentialni hammasini tugatishni hech narsa sizni to'xtatgani yo'q. Bismillah deb niyatingiz xolis bo'lib, yaxshi niyatda hozir o'tirib boshlasangiz, albatta tugatalmay qolsam-chi, tugatalmasang, 5 tasini tugatsang yomonmi? 5 ta kitobda. Osanga qo'yib bersa shunday, sudira yurmoqsan dekabrgacha. Dekabrgacha ming'illab yig'lab yurmoqsan, buning oqizib. Bugun tugat. Chana chiqib qo'rqib ketasan natijani ko'rib. Shuncha payt mana shu menda bormidi deysan. Qilib ko'rgin. Hammaga tegishli bu. Kelishdiga?